Peace, Instagram. All of our lovelies who are catching the replays, welcome in, y'all. How are you? All right, we are live on all of them. We live on all 5. Hey, y'all. Hey, babes. Welcome in. Peace to Trillis. LA Ghost, Brown Skin, Miss Uptown. We're about to get started in just a second. Peace Graffiti, Nino, Ponytail, Shell, DJ, Taquan. Hey, y'all. Oh. Bitch, I ain't got a quarter tank of gas. I got a full tank. I got a full tank in my new E-Class, bitch. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's get it started. Peace and love, and welcome into all of our lovelies, new and true. I am your co-host, Mrs. Dublé Jones. I am the lady with the stones, the come here's. And have you want to leave us a fuck alone? Leave me alone. Peace, Jessica. If you'd like any one-on-one services and you're ready to take your journey to the next level, take these devils out shovels, y'all book on the website CrystalineMars.com. Y'all, our shield protection, banishing, grounding oil is available for sale. I have had this baby marinating. She first started marinating when the Scorpio shadow period, when we entered the Scorpio full moon shadow period. And so that was on the 9th, on May 9th. So this lovely has been marinating for about 10 days, something like that, right? 9 days, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for that behind, bitch. And when I say I've been working with Allure, I have been working with Affluence, our other infused oil that is has that Taurus energy. And those energies have been very beautiful. It's been very light. It's been very like, it's been like a softness that comes with those herbs and those oils. But this shield, I lied to what my grandma say, right hand on the Holy Bible, bitch. When I put this shield on, I literally felt the shield, the energetic shield. And I was like, God damn, Uncle Sam. So when I say this baby is the fuck what you want, and if you don't want something, put this baby boo on. Put this baby boo on. Like, I lie to y'all not. Shout outs to y'all who have placed y'all orders. Y'all came through as soon as I dropped the lovely on the site. Y'all came through and placed y'all orders. But Shield is going to be your best friend. You struggle with anxiety, your best friend. You struggle with spiritual attacks, your best friend. You struggle with bullying, your best friend. You struggle with standing on business, your best friend. You struggle with curses, your best friend. You struggle with hexes, your best friend. You struggle with spells, your best friend. Or whatever the hell's, bitch, your best friend. If I was your best friend, I want you around all the time. Literally, like, I can't get over this. I have never felt so grounded in an oil before. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm done talking about the oil for now. CrystalineMars.com. And this pairs beautifully with the Allure and Affluence because this is also great for shielding your money and your love. So what I did today was I put on my duo, my Allure and my Affluence, and then I went over my shield. Like, all right, now cover all of this. Cover all of this. Okay, so that's what we have there, y'all. We are in our final hour. If it resonates with y'all, I do have some news which is great for clearing obstacles. We have that ritual available, and then we have the return to self ritual to those of us who get lost in relationships, who are remembering the pieces of us. So I encourage y'all to run over to the website, book those while they are on sale. And again, all of the our other spiritual tools and jewels. I did also add I got the anklet right here. Hold on, y'all. These are the latest anklets that I have. One of them are no longer for sale, but I just want to show y'all anyway. But this one is standing on business. Super, super, super gorge. Super, super, super gorge. This is an anklet. She is sold, but I just wanted to show y'all. I got the cameras flipped around, so Instagram, I'm used to y'all being in the middle. But Instagram, now move to the left, bitch. Instagram, lead a line. So she's no longer available, but we do have this anklet available on the website. And I have the blue stone to the side because it'll pretty much be like on the side of your ankle. But we have clear quartz, we have ore quartz. So this one is great for grounding, for protection, for fertility, as well as cleansing and balancing your chakras. Okay, so we do have this jangly anklet on sale for 15% off. So we have that, and y'all meet us here. Y'all meet us here. Y'all go book y'all spots for our collective soul sessions, okay? Our collective soul sessions will be held every Sunday starting next week, or this upcoming Sunday on the 25th, okay? So if you're looking for a community, if you're looking to connect with like-minded souls, and you're ready to emerge your divine masculine, your divine feminine, rewrite narratives, and really come into who you truly are, y'all meet us here. We do have spots available. It's 111, and that covers your month. That covers every weekend. For the upcoming month, we gather on Sundays for about an hour to 2 hours. We let spirit flow. And it is a safe container for us to be vulnerable, for us to have those soul-to-soul conversations and do the work in real time on a more intimate level. It is a virtual session, okay? You don't have to have your camera on if you don't feel comfortable, but you can book on the website, CrystalineMars.com. Click on Spiritual Services, Brother Lagos and Dublé, and you'll see it right there at the top. Okay, if you are on Instagram, if you click on the link tree, you'll see an actual separate link. But I look forward to connecting with y'all. I look forward to remembering with y'all. I look forward to building with y'all. Again, the 25th, the books are open. You can book at any time. You can purchase your seat, claim your seat at any time by the 25th. Okay, if you would like to join next month, you can join next month. You can pay anytime throughout the month, and that'll roll you over to the following month when we gather again in June. Okay, so that's what we have for that, and I think I'm now ready to move on. All right, so let's move on to the message of the day. So the message of the day is new week, new roots. Ground before you grow. New week, new roots. Ground before you grow. Okay, so we want to start our week off slow and steady. We are entering Gemini season on Tuesday, and that's going to be bringing a lot of fast-paced energy, right? And so we want to set the tone, allowing for that Taurus energy to smoothly transition. Taurus is all about slow and steady. Okay, so no, there will be a time for us to pick it up, but let's start our week off slow and steady. Let's start our day off with a deep breath and a clear intention, and remind ourselves that sometimes the most powerful moves are the ones that are made in silence, the ones that are made in stillness. So how is the universe? How is your highest self? How is your present self calling for you to be still? Where are you being called to create this stillness? Let's honor that. Let's lean into that. Some of us are just have been on autopilot, hustling, 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 hustling. Every day I'm hustling so damn hard that we done forgot what it feels like to rest without shame. We don't give ourselves permission to just put everything down for a second or for a day. Yesterday was soul refreshing for me. Literally, by the end of the night, I told the guys, I was like, I needed this so bad. I needed this day off so bad. And throughout the day, I was so eager to do stuff because I'm so used to moving 7 days a week. 7 days a week. And I told y'all I got other things that I still didn't add to the website. So there's things that I could create. But I had to remind myself to play. Sit the fuck down. Go take a nap. You tired. And then I got up. I got up like around 8, almost something to 8 o'clock p.m. And I was up, bitch. So I started working on y'all orders. I started processing some orders since I was up. I got some stuff done. But I made sure I prioritized my rest and I chilled the entire fucking day. I posted this shield on the website. I made a little video and I sat the fuck down. I shielded my energy. And by the end of the night, I told the guys, like, I feel so refreshed. I feel so recharged. Okay? And so today, bitch, we had, I was about to start. We was at the football field a little longer than expected. We didn't have enough time for me to cook when we got home. And so I asked him, I was like, can we take Sundays off too? Like I said, I gave you an inch and you want to take a mile. And I was like, true. And he was like, why do you want to do that? You know? And I was like, because I just don't have time to eat. And so he was like, here, you get your little sushi. You can have a little snack and you can eat after the damn show. And I was like, all right. So I had some sushi to hold me over. And so it's important that we not get complacent. That we not get too comfortable in that stillness. And then now we just ready to damn completely check out. All right. You still got to show up. We still got work to do. But again, how is your spirit calling for you to rest, to just chill out for a little bit? Let's honor that. Let's set the week in that energy, okay? So there's gonna be a time to hold, a time to fold. But we're gonna start off slow. And that could have been today for some of us. Like it could have been a slow day where you may have wanted to do stuff, but it was just like, yeah, no, not so much. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into the actual daily energy. If you all do want a reading tonight, you can send your love offerings in. I will conduct those first come, first serve. I have nobody in queue at the moment, so we can start with you, baby boo, if you want to come through. But we're going to close the doors at 9:10. So if I don't have any readings by 9:10 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to close this thing on out. We're going to switch. I don't know if Brother Lagat's going to join us. We'll see. Peace, Joanne, Tandy, Sheba, hi. You said mine was, I got in a car accident last night. Yours was what? Are you safe? I assume so. I mean, you're here with us. All right, y'all. Whoa. So, in honor of the 18th, I'm ready to get into tarot tea time. I was about to start pulling cards, bitch. I was about to say, in honor of the 18th, we're going to pull from Unveiled. We're going to get to that in a minute. So I will be covering the daily energy for the 19th. The service of the week is the Higher Wisdom Ritual. Okay. So I will have the Higher Wisdom Ritual on sale all week, 15% off. And that one's great for those of you who are ready to rise, to those of you who are seeking wisdom, enlightenment, and you're ready to stimulate that crown chakra energy with the purple. That is definitely the service for you. Okay. So the energy for the 19th. I channeled, so it is a 6 universal day, right? The daily energy adds up to 6. And I channeled Healing the Past. Make peace with the past. And that's beautiful because I planned on doing Lovely's Healing the Past ritual tomorrow. Okay, alignment. So Healing the Past, some of you could benefit from booking the Healing the Past ritual and I could get you in there tomorrow. But nonetheless, however you do that, this is a day to make peace with the past so you can free yourself, so you can evolve. But with peace, with understanding comes peace. So that's what that higher wisdom is going to assist with. All right. This will be a great day to conduct your harmony rituals, right? To go to the beach. To go to the beach, to release, to journal there, to just sit in the stillness, to sit in Yemaya's energy, in her presence. To do some meditation, some breath work out there. If you can't get to a beach, it's a good time to just get in some water, get connected with some water on this day. There's a lot of healing energy here for us to work with. We want to make time for what matters on this day. Okay? So there may be a couple of different things that you need to dip your hand into. So we just don't want to fill our schedule up with one thing, essentially. Let's say you got an art project you're working on, or you got homework you're working on, right? And yes, you need to do your homework. Yes, you may need to finish that art project, but what else needs to be done too? So we definitely want to make sure that we allow ourselves to flow, to be fluid on this day, and come in and out and cover different things that need to be covered. Peace, pretty high. I am Dublé. Welcome in, and thank you for your butterflies and your likes. I'll also channel Be the Change That You Want to See. Be the change that you want to see. The colors for the day are blue and white or ivory. Blue and white or ivory. So y'all leave your blue and white hearts down below. Masterpiece Graffiti said guided meditation. No guided meditation. No guided meditation. Masterpiece Empress said, any thoughts on the burning of the plantation? So interesting that you asked, because I was talking to somebody today, and I learned some information. I was like, interesting. And the information that I at least gathered from that person I was speaking to was that the actual owners of the plantation, like the real ones, were William and Mary, and they were black. They were William and Mary, and they were black. And so everybody's celebrating, what's happening with the plantation burning down, but it's not what we think, essentially, which resonates on a level, because most times, like, a lot of what we see and what we think is happening, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. So I still am sitting with it. I've seen what happened. I've seen what people are saying. But I think it's more to it than what meets the eye. So I can't really give a my full perspective of it yet, because I haven't really sat with it. I've just observed, to be honest. So those are my thoughts. What are yours? What's y'all thoughts on that? I think it's important that we really zoom out, and really sit with ourselves and not just take what we see. You said, I felt that they were black. It felt wrong celebrating. My aunt and uncle owns a plantation house. Yeah. Like I said, I just found that information out today, so that's why I'm not speaking on it too much. Well, I'm not speaking on like that part of it. And I think that's another thing too, that it's important that before we start to really speak on stuff, that we know what we're talking about. You know what I mean? I was trying to do something, and then it came to me, and my spirit was like, you don't really know that much about that. You can't answer too many questions about that, so we're not going to teach that. And I was like, cool. I had the humility enough to say, you know what? I'm not going to teach that. I'm still understanding it myself. So that's my opinion on it. But it makes sense, like I said, because most times when stuff is like mainstreamed and all that, it's a distraction, or it's not what we think, right? It may look up, but it may be down, or vice versa. There is some truth there, but there are also some hidden lies too. The duality, the Gemini energy, boo. So I think it's more to it. So, I shade to that. So, let's go ahead and get into tarot tea time, bitch. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Brown Skin said, was that or was that Shout out to Danielle Tucker for your order that you placed. Shout out to our lovely who just booked right before we went live to EJ. Shout out to you, baby boo. What else? Okay, so we're gonna now pull from Unveil. So this is gonna be a general collective reading. You said, where else am I live? I'm live on Instagram and YouTube at Crystaline Mars is our handle, just as it is on TikTok. So head over there and connect with us. You said, yeah. I said two things. I told y'all. Attunes can say, yeah, they'll mainstream that, but the black woman who survived in the snowstorm and made it back alive is not being mainstreamed. Yeah. So I want y'all to take what resonates, leave what does not. Again, if you want a few card pulls for you, you can send in your love offering. If not, that's cool. You laughing. Like, what you talk about? All right, let's see what we got for the collective. Oh yeah, and the moon is in Aquarius. And Aquarius is all about zooming out. Zooming out. Zooming out. Okay, let's see. What are you going to end? Oh, when? Okay, but that's a question. You said this tea time about to be steamy. Nah, meanie, bitch. When are you going to end this cycle? You're choosing to remain here. You have the choice to leave. Knowing what you know now, what gots to fucking go? What can stay? Be clear, be direct. Tomorrow is the 19th. The beginning and the ending. What are you ready to end? Is it separation? Is it some confusion? Is it this fixated way of you thinking or operating that's not working for you no more? Is it something that you really do desire? Okay. I know for me personally, there's been a lot of things that has been like put back on me. Like, what you gonna do, Dublé? You gonna lead them left or you gonna lead them right? And, or do you want this or do you want that? Right? And I've just gotten to the point where I just started surrendering. I'm just like, well, I surrender. I just allow, I trust that everything will be where it need to be. But then it came back to me like, where the fuck do you want it to be? What do you want in your reality? And I had to be honest with myself. And I was like, well, if I had to really say, I would rather it be this way. When I made that decision up in my mind, everything shifted. Everything shifted. I shifted timelines, not just for myself, but to those involved. For those involved. For everyone's highest good. There may be things that you see that people cannot see around you. So how are you being called to lead? What are you being called to create? There are some visions that you have that, like I said, not everybody can see. Some people cannot see the benefits of if they go this way. But you may see the benefits. Your spirit may be leading them to you, or spirit, the higher source, the higher power, their ancestors, your ancestors, may very well be leading them to you for you to be the guiding light. Not to control them, not to tell them what to do, but you are the lighthouse. So what are you being called to put an end to? What are you being called to start? Where are you that you don't like being? As we close up this Taurus cycle, Taurus was reminding us, slow and steady wins the race. Let's move at our own pace. Let's take our time. Let's think long term. Let's build. Let's save. But on the flip side, Gemini, Taurus is also stuck. Taurus is a fixed sign. Taurus will stay in a situation way longer than they need to be there because they're comfortable. Maybe they're scared. They don't have enough information. So some of us are being called to do that thing. I got you, J.E. Some of us are being called to do that thing sooner than we were trying to do that thing. That thing, that thing, that thing. You have the choice to leave. So, today is a 9-day. Today came with the smokes. I was cool, but I felt the energy, though. I saw the energy, I heard the energy, and I was like, oh, shit, bitch. Fee, fi, fo, fum, bitch. It was giving Bigfoot today. And again, tomorrow is the 19th. And the 9 plus 1 equals 10. 10 represents completion. Okay. Peace, lemon love. Welcome. Toonskin said, this resonates. I've been telling myself this all day. Yeah, let me shift. EJ said, peace, family. Peace, baby boo. Erica, we miss you. You said I was bumping that today. Look at you. Yeah, yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, yeah. Shit. And I'm hearing save a hoe. Some of y'all are literally, you don't even realize how powerful your energy is. You don't even realize how much rank you really got. You don't even realize how influential your energy is. With this 9 energy present today, this is Scorpio energy. And in some way, shape, or form, especially to those of you who have Scorpio in your chart, rather you're born on the 9th, you're born on the 18th, you're born on the 27th, you're born on, you have a 9 in your number, your birthday, so the 19th. If you were born in the 9th month, if your year adds up to 9, right, 19, whatever, 94, I know that don't add up to 9, but whatever, right, that adds up to 9. You have Scorpio, sun, moon, rising, Mercury, north node, south node. You got Scorpio placements. It definitely hit different for you. And you were definitely placed in people's lives to transform them. To transform them. And some of us have yet to really own that. How you gonna win when you ain't right within, for surely? Blast from the past, the pain in the ass, set firm boundaries, and stand on business. It's okay for them to be mad. Allow them to remove themselves. No need to take out old trash. Message. So, Graffiti asked for a guided meditation. We have a little exercise here, so this is going to be our little guided meditation. You ask and you shall receive. It just don't look in the form that you thought. Okay? So, I invite y'all to share this space real quick. It's going to be a brief one. But I invite you to close your eyes. And visualize yourself standing in soil. Begin to wiggle your toes and feel the soil beneath you. And with each inhale, your feet roots deeper and deeper and deeper into the earth until you are unmovable. You can visualize your feet sinking ankle length, calf length, knee length, thigh length, waist length, chest length. Or you can fully submerge yourself. You can fully ground yourself. And when you're ready, take a few rounds of breath and slowly open your eyes and meet me back here on the other side so we may carry on. And I invite you to comment, deeply rooted. There is a lot that always was that is now being unveiled for you to see what always was. Just to confirm that you was always on the money. Yes, they meant that shit. Yes, they was acting funny. So, one thing I would tell my past self, one thing that I would tell my younger self is to honor the boundaries that are being set. Don't try to force yourself into rooms. Don't force yourself into conversations. Don't force yourself onto nobody. I know that you may want to establish yourself. Make it very clear that you're not the one to be fucked around with. But do yourself a favor. Preserve, reserve, conserve your energy. Let whatever is ready to come to you, come to you. But don't you dare go chasing something. Because the moment you feed that, the moment you begin to chase that energy, the moment you begin to face things that prematurely, you're now off track. You're now out of alignment. You're now taking on more sooner than you had to. You're taking on things that you didn't even have to. Your spirit may be telling you, leave them alone. Your spirit may be telling you, hey, or even showing you, hey, they don't fuck with you. Your spirit may be telling you, hey, don't go there. Go left. Don't you go in that store. Don't you go to that house. Don't you pick up that phone. Don't you sleep with them. Honor it. It may not make complete sense right now, but it will in due time. Ashe, Michelle. I see how deeply rooted. Karmic energy. Learn the lesson and graduate. Move the fuck on. Know when to remove yourself. Escape. Put your pride aside. Let them think what they think. And let them fuck around and find out if that's what they want to do. Have you yet to assign your spiritual team specific tasks? What's your maintenance been like? What's your spiritual maintenance been like? Your 9 days. The days that add up to 9. If it's the 9th, if it's the 18th, if it's a Tuesday, if it's a non-universal day, meaning if all of the numbers add up to 9, which is why we break that shit down every time. I do what I do for a reason. Those are the days that you want to conduct your banishing rituals, your protection rituals. Okay? So what need a little picker-upper? Go get your shield oil. When I say y'all, like when, okay, I'm gonna continue to pull cards. We got one more minute. The door's closing. Caught red-handed. Frozen, bitch. Answer the call. Balance your chakras, center yourself, and relay it. Stop overthinking how, when, and where to say it. The opportunity will arise again. Will you express yourself honestly or continue to lie and replay it? So it's heavy on this, what you about to do? It's heavy on what you talking about. It's heavy on what's the energy behind the words that you're speaking. Today, it was this little girl. Energy manifested. And last weekend, I wasn't really feeling her energy. She a little girl. You know, so I'm just like, oh, she want to touch my dog. I'm like, you can touch the dog. But then she wants to hold my dog, Yorkie. He's a little puppy. And she's maybe like 5. This little girl like 5. She's holding him down to the point where Juju starts to bark. Like, and he don't bark. Juju he a little different. He starts to bark like, like, let me the fuck go. So at that moment, I took him from him and I was like, let's not pick him up. Let's not hold him. So the energy comes through again. Same little girl. Can I touch your dog? You can touch him. She leaves, come back. Can I pick up your dog? No, we're not going to pick him up today. Set it straight like that. She runs off, come back. I now have him in my lap because I'm like, let me bring you closer because he was on the ground. Let me sit you right the fuck here. She comes back. Can I pick him up? I said just as kindly, but just as firmly. I told you no, you cannot pick him up, so please don't ask me again. I said what I said and my answer not changing. In a minute, you about to not touch him. I ain't say that part. That was coming, bitch. And so with this, stop overthinking how, when, and where to say it. What the fuck you need to say? What the fuck you need to say? It's not about being nice. Be honest. And remember that it's all spiritual. It's all energy. So don't get it twisted. I don't care how it manifests. Put shit in its proper place or it's going to take up space. And sabotage and erase. Undo, unravel you, distract you. So there's a certain level of acceptance that need to be had as well. Accepting that, hey, they may not fuck with what I'm about to say. They may not fuck with what I'm about to do. But don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you. We're going to pull one more and we're closing out. You give an inch, they're going to take a fucking mile. So y'all stay tuned for the next episode because in a minute I'm going to tell that little girl stop touching him. I feel like that's coming the next damn Sunday, bitch. 3 Sundays in a row. Let's not touch him. You can look, but do not touch. Boundaries up. Get the fuck out my face. Energy. Because it ain't about the little girl. It's the spirit that's within the little girl that I peep. And a lot of y'all peeping too. You may be over here like, oh, no. I don't know. Well, maybe. No. All right, give me one more. You know. I said 1. We got no, so this the 1. Balance that throat chakra, like I said. What do you say no to? And this isn't a no question mark. This isn't a no period. This is a no exclamation point. Like I said, what's that energy like? Are you clear? Are you crystal clear? Or you got a little fog at the bottom? This is the time for you to fortify yourself. What are you rooted in? I don't want to stop. I'm going to pull one from this OG and we done. Pay attention to your dreams. The moon is going to be entering Pisces on Tuesday with Gemini season. So there is definitely going to be a lot that is revealed to you in your dreams. Some of y'all going to be doing a lot of traveling. A lot of revelation. Divine information. All right. So that's what we have. And our declaration is going to be... I am deeply rooted, bitch. I am deeply rooted. I am deeply rooted in truth. I am deeply rooted in power. I am deeply rooted in... What is that for you? And if you can't quite gather that, you can just say, I am deeply rooted until it comes to light for you. But what are you deeply rooted in? Are you deeply rooted in power? Are you deeply rooted in strength? Are you deeply rooted in clarity? Right? So that's going to be our declaration, y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to the personal readings. I think I just have one, baby boo, in queue. I am deeply rooted in spirit, Ashe. I am deeply rooted in truth, power, clarity, and having boundaries, Ashe. I am deeply rooted in love. I am deeply rooted in truth and power, Ashe. Gratitude, Mike. I am deeply rooted in truth. I am deeply rooted in truth, power, and justice. You know when the hippos keep their nose and eyes above the water? That was me during meditation. I am deeply... I am deeply rooted in my truth, Ashe. I am deeply rooted in truth, power, strength, spirit, and clarity. I am deeply rooted in truth and power. I am deeply rooted in my truth and my power. Ashe. I shower, bitch. So, you better act like you know. Y'all go get y'all decks, man. I don't know what y'all be playing. Y'all be playing until them demons start slaying. All right, cool. So we got that concludes, that wraps up our general collective reading, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and move into JE. We have a general, what do I need to know right now for JE? I am deeply rooted in authenticity, spirituality, my power, and identity. Just be one. I am deeply rooted in connection with the ground. Ashe. So what does... Okay, let's see what JE needs right now. I'm picking up on Ogun right now. I'm seeing you on a hot rock. It's like the hot lava, you know, like on the Mario game, JE, where it's like the lava and he have to like jump over the lava. It does feel like you are in the middle of like war. Graffiti said, can I ask the site you use to get your 42 and Unveiled deck done? As far as the printing, I think it's called I Print Cards. I Print Cards. DM me. I can't remember off the top of my head. Print My Cards. Print My Ride, bitch. Something like that. That was for the actual printing of the cards. Is that what you're asking? I created them on Canva, but I got them printed through the... I can't remember. It's something like that. DM me and I'll send it to you. All right, let's see. JE. You said yes. So that resonates with you with that war energy. Yeah, I see you stripped naked. It's kind of frantic, honestly. We got sabotage. Be aware that someone may be plotting against your well-being, aiming to make you vulnerable and disrupt your progress and healing. Oh, yes, the lava. So we have sabotage here. This could be like a water sign or earth sign. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. Get what I want. You can get what you want, but always ask, what's the cost? Ensure it doesn't compromise your peace, values, or well-being. So there's some kind of sacrifice or something. I feel like it's a negative connotation around like the word sacrifice. Because immediately as soon as I said it, I heard like sacrifice. But when I say sacrifice, it means that something has to be given up. You're going to have to lose something to gain something else. So are you willing to pay the price? Connecting with Papa Legba as well. Ask and get more clarity on exactly what this is. You can make the decision whatever you want to do, of course, as always. But yeah, there's something that you can have, but there's some cost that comes with it. Custody battle or something is coming up. So it could be something that you own or something like that. We have arrogance, Aries energy. In the modern era, it's vital to understand arrogance and confidence are not one and the same. Okay. So with this arrogance, Spirit is calling for you to be more confident and own what you know. It's given, like, I don't know if you've been having a lot of downloads or some things that you've been seeing, some things that you've been speaking has been coming to pass. But it does feel like you are discounting yourself in some way, shape, or form. Because maybe you don't want to come off a certain way. And you don't have to make announcements about what you know or what's happening. But within yourself, like, you need to know that you know. We have Orunmila here. Orunmila is the Orisha of wisdom and divination, who knew the universe's secrets and was trusted to guide the other Orisha. He encourages you to seek wisdom, trust in foresight, and use knowledge to navigate life's challenges with clarity. So you may want to connect with Orunmila as well. Give me one more from this deck. All right, thank you. And we got Shango. We got Shango here. So I don't know if you have an altar, but it's time for you to really start intentionally connecting with these deities more consistently. It's given, like, I don't know if you saw, J.E., the video that I posted the other day of the ritual that I did with Ilegwa, Ogun, and Oshun. And I was very, very clear on what I want them to do, what I need for them to do. And they were all in alignment. All of the candles were literally firm like a soldier. They were all the same height. The energy was in alignment. And so it does feel like, you know, Spirit's calling for you to be very clear and specific on who you want to handle what. It's time for you to own it. Give me one more right here. Who this? Obatala. Obatala. So it does feel like you're trying to be very peaceful in this time of war, and this ain't the time for that. I'm seeing like literally seeing a war happen, and you gotta conquer. You can surrender and be overtaken. You can surrender and your land be taken. You can surrender and your life be taken, or are you gonna fight? So there is wisdom, there is tact, right? That needs to be taken as you move, but definitely you got to take a different approach. More rituals, more protection work, more door work, getting you some railroad spikes, getting you some horseshoes at the door, having an altar at your door. Like, it's time to clink, clink, J.E. This shield is going to be your fucking best friend. I don't know if you was here when I talked about this shield. This is Scorpio full moon and lunar and solar infused oil. Great for banishing, protection, grounding, cord cutting. Leave me the fuck alone in a bottle. Literally. So that's available on the website. I would recommend you get that. I'm about to pull one more for you, and then we about to move on. About to text Brother Lagos. Let's pull from Fortitude. What's the light close out? Pistic. Somebody might be pissed off at you. Peace, Mystic, Mermaid. Or there's some release that needs to happen. Because I just like the piss, like P. I hate saying piss. I do not say that. P. Do you say piss, J.E.? But yeah, I'm just seeing a release. A cut and clear. A winds of change. Unlock with Ogun ritual on the website. You said yeah. Damn, I feel like I asked a couple of things. I don't know what that yes to. Give me one, close out. You're ready for this timeline shift, J.E. You've procrastinated long enough, J.E. Welcome in what the universe has in store for you. Trust. You are ready for this timeline shift. You've procrastinated long enough. Welcome in what the universe has in store for you. Trust. It's been a long road for you, J.E. And I know you just want it to be over with. I know you just wish that it'll just kind of like just pass by and you could just be done with it. And in a sense, you can. But you have to step into your power and command and not ask. And it's only but so much. Well, I won't say it's only but so much, but there are limitations when it comes to like other people. It's only but so much we can do when it comes to like other people. But there are certain measures that you can take when it comes to covering yourself that you're not taking. When it comes to cracking the code that you're not taking. Because it just feels like you're not coming to the Orisha. You giving them like you connect with them, but it's like you're giving them wiggle room. It's kind of like you asking the kid like, hey, can you go clean your room? And they're like, okay, well, you asked, can I? So I can, but I mean, until you make me, I'm gonna go play. You said I do use that word? Oh, yeah, I was tapping into your energy because I'm like, piss. I do not say piss. So, yeah, you need to own it. Ogun, take care of this. Ogun, this is the path that I'm walking down. So go ahead and clear that out. Like, come on, J.E. All right? So that's what I got for you. And Brother Lagos did not text me back, or did he? I'm about to call him because I'm ready. 9:28. He just read my text. I have been disconnected from the audio. Okay. Ashe. Regardless of who you connect with, you ain't got to connect with the Odisha. If that's your choice, you ain't got to connect with no specific gods, no specific angels. That's solely up to you, right? But whatever you do, if it's just connect with your higher self, you need to clank when it comes to covering yourself. Okay? However you want to approach that, or whoever it is you want to connect with or disconnect from or whatever, don't want to be vulnerable out in these streets. Not at this time anyway. Okay? All right. So, And I'll just say for all of us, I think it's mindful. I think it's important that we are mindful of really getting to the truth, to the core of why we want to disconnect from certain things, why we want to detach. Not saying that every detachment, because there is a certain level of detachment that happens naturally. But, sometimes we can also be tricked, convinced to close ourselves off from the very thing that is the thing that helps us transcend or break free or conquer, So I think it's important that we are discerning when it comes to why we are choosing to do whatever it is that we choose to do. It's not just about connecting with different spirits. But why are you stopping? Why are you trying to, why are you going? Where are you going? I remember it was a lot of times throughout my journey where I wanted to put the cards down. I remember it was like 2-3 years ago where I was like, I'm done with the cards. I'm done there. And I was just getting started. But it wasn't, I think Lagaz asked me questions or something happened in my physical reality that really made me ask myself, like, what am I really trying to run from? What am I scared of? What do I feel like I have already mastered? Because I've came a long way and I still got ways to go when it comes to like really tapping into energy. And I was nowhere near where I am now 2-3 years ago, but I convinced myself that I was, to the point where I was like, I don't need the cards anymore. And it's like, it's not that I needed it, but it was definitely a tool. So in a sense, I did need it to unlock certain things and help me exercise certain muscles. But I was in a certain spot where I was just like, I just kind of tap out. I'm good on it. And I try to make a valid excuse to why. J.E. said, because the people that introduced me to it aren't righteous. And they are being allowed to do me wrong. So I don't have elders to learn from. And I don't know what I'm doing. Fair enough. I respect that. I respect that. I understand that. So with that, I do encourage that you do, some intentional guided meditations. And you could just solely work with your higher self or work with an ancestor that you trust, right? Bloodline or somebody that that you can trust. But I just wouldn't completely throw the towel in. I wouldn't. I would continue on your journey in maybe a different way, to where, if that is something that you do want to come back to, you can be led to a more trustworthy, benevolent spirit to guide you, or elder to guide you. But I get that. Okay. So that concludes our tarot tea time, y'all. Thank y'all for sharing this space. Again, head over to the website, take advantage of our 15% off sale in its last few hours. Book your personal rituals, y'all. Book your personal rituals, book y'all services, past life regressions, your unlock with Oya for transformation, your whatever your spirit calls. Head over to the website, y'all. Get your shield oil. CrystalineMars.com. They are on sale for 15% off. The oils are. And the sale ends at 4 a.m. Eastern Time. The doors close on the 19th. Okay? You said the tea was very sweet tonight, Ashe. It was a quick little shot. But it hit. It hit. So I'm about to go ahead and turn it over. I'm about to go ahead and turn it over to Brother Lagaz. Get these cameras together and see what he got. What he said, connect to disconnect. He about to talk about that detachment. Watch. He about to talk about that detachment. So stay with us, J.E. and everybody else. All right, y'all. Peace. Hold on. He ran off, so let me put my cards up. Of course, Kenzela. I say serenity prayer. Okay, you got it.
Peace, family. Today's lesson is to connect to disconnect. Connect to disconnect. Ashe. So the idea behind this is that when many of us try to disconnect, which makes sense, you disconnect to try to connect to self, right? Now, understand that self is infinite, right? Self is unlimited. So, though it is good to connect to self, understand that you cannot truly connect to all of self naturally in this completely cohesively balanced way. Meaning that you have to, because you're so infinite, you have to over time connect to the different sides of self. Um, in a sense, kind of one at a time, right? One at a time. Uh, but when we go straight into just disconnecting, just to from everyone around us and the things around us, to just trying to disconnect with self, you end up connecting sometimes to aspects of self that are actually harmful to your progression and to your growth. And a big reason why that is because you end up disconnecting from your reflection. Only from you get collected from your reflection, and you're connected completely only towards your projection. Right. So whatever it is that you resonate in projecting, that's the only thing that you're really connected to, and that could be some good things, but it could also be some negative things as well, some selfish things, or some out of alignment things, or some possibly bad habits and things like that. So when I say disconnecting from reflection, what I'm talking about people. When you try to disconnect from the world, from people, you're actually disconnecting from your reflection. Right. Now, the biggest reflection that we tend to try to disconnect from nowadays is from usually family members, and then sometimes maybe like really close friends or romantic partners, right? But definitely family members, Ashe. And we could say there's some good reasons at times to disconnect from family members, some not so positive experiences can happen with family members. But I find that most people, when it comes to whatever their purpose or they believe their purpose is in life, or whatever their true desires are in life, whether it's art, whether it's some sort of science field, whether it's spiritual field, whether it's the music, whether it's all the different areas, teaching, communities, speaking, whatever it is, it always somehow centers around other people. My music will help inspire other people. My understanding of biology, or understanding of computer science, or understanding somehow to help other people. It's always about helping other people, right? So we tend to, let me fix TikTok over here real quick. We all have, pretty much the majority of us all have a desire to connect with people. But we have a hard time, a lot of us, with the connection with our own family, because those are the closest reflections. Those are the closest reflections. Now, me, for instance, I have a lot of the same troubles or challenges when it comes to having a constant and consistent connection with my family members. But my challenge in that connection is not me trying to isolate myself. In fact, I'm always looking for a way to connect, but at the same time, when I know they're not ready to connect, when I know that it's not, things are not in a space that's best for them to be ready to connect, I am okay with allowing that space and that distance to be there and waiting for the time when they are ready. Ashe. But in order to do that effectively and not take to any offense of it or feel like, oh, they should, if I'm ready to talk, if I'm ready to connect, they should be ready to connect. Well, we don't necessarily expect that in romantic relationships all the time, right? Or even in friendships. So the same thing happens when it comes to family too. We should, give them, that grace, but not at the same time, even if we're not seeing eye to eye with our family members. Understand that if you disconnecting from them, let me wait for, what is this? IG got a little lag. Disconnecting from our family, just in general, as a rule, all that ends up doing is it leaves a gap, it leaves a space, and you're going to have to fill that gap. You're going to have to fill that space, and you more than likely will end up, if you're going to end up filling that space with something you're probably not going to be too fond of or be too useful, right? Whether it be certain types of entities or just certain even emotions, right? So though I don't spend as much time or have as much of a connection as I necessarily would like with my family members, I do understand that, just like how in order for the world and for people to, as a nation and as a world, in order for us to get better, in order for us to improve, right, we all understand that as a career choice, we should be finding ways to what? Make people's lives better. Well, I take that same approach, and you should take that same approach when it comes to your family. Even if there's a lack of connection, because you're not connected to all the strangers on the planet, and yet you want to help strangers. There's so many strangers that we don't know, but yet we want to give money, we want to give our time to people who don't know you. Right? And that's because the reflection is not really there. The reflection of what? Of our, past experiences or triggers or traumas or whatever. Right? But when you instead let your connection stay honed in on making your family's lives better. No matter how they feel about you, no matter how your relationships are. But if your focus becomes, how can I make their lives better? How can I grow in my life so I can make their lives better? Right? That will allow you to stay disconnected from the negative aspects of self. Therefore, there won't be a void there. It's like you don't need a pet to love you back in order for you to love the pet. Right? You get a gerbil, you get a iguana, there might be love there, but there might not be a love there. They might just like the fact that you feed them. Right? Especially when it comes to like reptilian type pets or a tarantula pet or whatever, right? But that doesn't stop you from loving the pet. So therefore, there's no void there. Even though you love the pet, but the pet may not necessarily love you. It's a snake. It doesn't necessarily love you, but yet there's no void there, because even though they're not loving you back, that is because you fill the void. And you're filling the void by doing what? By loving the thing that you want to love. You're not concerned about how much they love you. You're only concerned about how much you love them and how much you give to them. That is how you connect to disconnect. You connect to the love you have for the pet, to disconnect from the lack of what they may or may not feel for you. It's the same thing when it comes to family. The same thing even when it comes to romantic relationships, right? But we tend to do the opposite. It's like, we want the person, the family member, to love love us. We want to feel the love from them because there's a void in us. There's a void in you. And when that void's there, because we're not receiving exactly what it is that we want to receive in the way that we want to receive it, we then want to run away from the reflection. Because what's the reflection? The reflection is that we are lacking, there's a void inside of us. I mean, there's a void of love inside of us. And because that person, that mother, that father, that grandmother, that auntie, that uncle, because that person, that sister, that brother, that cousin, because that person or persons, because they are not filling us with the love that we already lack, we end up keep looking at our own family members, and we keep seeing a reflection of a what? Reflection of a void that's inside of us. And that void is there. It exists because, not because the love's not there, but because we're not looking at the actual love. See, so what I'm saying is that when it comes to your family members, because a lot of us have a disconnect with our family members, like even our friends or childhood friends, right? Don't focus on what you're looking for, what you're trying to feel. Instead, focus on the actual fulfillment itself. When you buy a pet, you only focus on the love you have for the pet, and then the void is filled. When you have your significant other, when you have your parents, your siblings, whatever, focus on the love and desires of wanting to help them, and then that will be the thing then the void will be filled, because you'll be focused on the thing that you actually want to feel, the actual thing you want to share, the thing you want to express, the very thing that you want to share with strangers is the very thing that you want to focus on when you're sharing with your siblings, with your parents, with your family members, and romantic partners. Ashe. So that is today's spiritual lesson. We'll now go into the Q&A. If anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, Ashe. Let me look in here real quick. Peace to all of the social media-ers. Peace to Black Rose. I see you on TikTok there. We appreciate all the likes, shares, subscribes, and the super chats and the Zells and the love offerings. Peace to Forgive, Endure, Affirm, and Reform. Peace over to JSCO. Says, I have been disconnected from the Orishas. Okay, Santeria something. Okay, that was earlier. Let's see. Sure. Peace to Atuna Ken and to Graffiti, Ashe. The lesson is heat, Ashe to that. I'll give y'all a minute or two to decide anything you want to share. Peace to JSCO. Ashe. Let's see. Deja L says, my first time here. Peace was referred. Ashe. Would love a synopsis. a synopsis on on today's stream or on today's live. Well, see, you can't really do a synopsis on today's live because, well, one, my partner Dublé, she did the first, well, the majority of it. So, and I don't know what all the things that she has covered, right? So you have to go back. It will be. I don't know if I think it saves on TikTok, but we definitely will have it on Instagram and YouTube. I say, But as far as I don't know if you caught the connect disconnect lesson I just did. Not sure. See, the inevitable truth says, I think you are speaking. You're speaking to has a lot to do with attunement and feeling safe enough in your body to not allow toxic shame to drive you to addictive coping mechanisms in terms of not connecting to. Shay, inevitable truth. That's it's too deep for me to even to agree or disagree. But it sounds good though. Sounds good. I'm gonna go with it. Bless the truth said tuna cannot shay. Close ones like not personalizing it and internalizing it and reframing. Ashe, inevitable truths. Ashe. Yeah, and there's a lot that you said there. But you said, you didn't say a whole lot, but you said there's a lot of deep terms that you use. It would take time to really, shuffle through it. So that's why I'm like, I'm just gonna go with it. Say gratitude, says Deja L. Gratitude to those sharing their synopsis. I say Deja L. So we'll look on YouTube to the page Ashe. Ashe. When it comes to, I guess, the coping mechanism, understand that coping is a natural state for all living creatures, not just humans, but all living creatures. All living creatures cope. All living organisms cope. Meaning that you find a way to deal with, the challenges, the stresses. Some copes are better than others. Some copes are healthier than others. Some copes are definitely more toxic than others. Some coping mechanisms or behaviors. Right? But the goal as see, it's not so much that we should not cope, it's that we are all living organisms have souls. Now, not all living organisms have their own separate souls necessarily, but they all have souls. All the other animals and insects, right, on this planet, the majority of them, maybe not all of them, but definitely the majority of them, have no choice but to cope when they are lacking anything in particular. We as humans, because our vessels are advanced enough, we have the capability to find a way to evolve past coping. it's not guaranteed that you'll find that way, but you have a strong capability to overcome the need to cope. Um, so that's just the difference, in between the living organisms. The inevitable truth says, like, if your family isn't reading, isn't ready to connect, then relationally being patient isn't just learning to wait, it's reorienting yourself to focus on things that are in your control until then. Well, yes, that's definitely true. You definitely want to focus on the things that you can control, or at least you believe you can control, or at least the things that are closer to your level of control, or your sphere of control, right? Or focus on the thing that's most pertinent in at this particular time, right? Um, so yeah, it is a big factor is being able to effectively shift your focus on uh, another more advantageous situation. All right. Um, a reason why most people who struggle with that changing their focus is due to just a lack of direction. Due to a lack of direction, meaning that you don't know where you're trying to go. You don't really know where you're trying to go, which is fine. It's normal in these days and times. It's normal, right? Um, so we have to continue to do our best to try to find a direction. I find that one of the number one directions that we focusing on is the direction that improves and makes us stronger for the purpose of ultimately being a stepping stone for our family. Whether that be your children, whether that be your cousins and nephews and nieces, grandparents, parents, guardians, close friends, significant others. Right. I find personally that, and it's not just me something just to say because it just makes a lot of sense to me, or that it's just something that's downloaded or came to me. But when we look at all successful human civilizations or groups or communities or tribes, or even successful animal groups, the ones that actually hang out in groups, you'll find that their main goal and objective is to be the most valuable to their family, to their group, to their pack, to their tribe, to their flock. Okay. Same thing goes with your cells in your body. Same thing goes with the bacteria in your body. They're all trying to be as valuable as they can to the group. Not as valuable as you can to some other foreign group. You don't have, a family of, ducks.
However you book, first check Kayak to compare car rental sites and prices to find a great deal on exactly what you're looking for.
See if I can change this commercial. Oh. You don't find one pack of ducks saying, I want to go, I want to disconnect from my family of ducks and go help out another, pack of ducks, some random group of ducks. Like, no, it's all about your group, your family. Sure. Just like, you want to help your country first, or your state, or your, city. And then when your city, your state, your country is strong, then you as a group can then help and interact with other groups and other families and so on and so forth. The inevitable truth. Was there ever a time you ever struggled with your family wanting you to play your role, family dynamics growing up, as opposed to your true self? And did you deal with it only with boundaries and space? Or were your attempts to communicate effective? That's a good question, inevitable truth. I currently still have my challenges and struggles in a sense when it comes to, the role, you could say, with my family. But even in those struggles, though, I personally have the more knowledge and wisdom I have gained, the easier it has been to overlook those struggles, because I've become more and more understanding of why it is they see things the way that they see them. Even though my family is definitely has evolved as well. Certain parts of my family have evolved, certain parts have not evolved, right? But I understand that the reason why they all struggle, and even myself, I'm struggling with my own evolution. We all are struggling because the circumstances are just not ideal for spiritual evolution. Therefore, when I came to that realization, I then took it upon myself to say, okay, well then I need to work to create the ideal situation and environment for my family so that they can be in a mental and emotional state and space where they can open themselves up to the growth, right? As far as boundaries, yeah, I've always, like, naturally, I guess, set boundaries ever since I was young, and I've changed and shifted and refined those boundaries. But there's always, no matter how I shift and change them and evolve them, the boundaries are always there, and I stick to what those boundaries are. No matter what they are at the time, I just stick to them, even if, no matter how much the others, family members, might disagree or may not understand at the time. That is not my concern when it comes to boundaries. My boundaries are my boundaries, just like theirs are theirs, right? So I've always been, I didn't really call them boundaries when I was younger, but I come to understand that's exactly, what they are and what I've been practicing, right? So, you should always have your boundaries, and you should always, stick to those boundaries. You should definitely stick to them and then if you adjust them and you change them based off of, new wisdom and information, then that's fine. But if you are instead ignoring your boundaries, or, temporarily changing your boundaries only because you feel bad, or because you want to please the others, or because you are just unsure, right? Those are not the best reasons to do that, right? Even if you're unsure, you should still stick to whatever your boundaries you have in place. It's better to stick to them and then try to, because you can always go back and, like, try to fix it or explain it, later. Because I've come to find, even those, no matter how much the friction is, people, including your family, including other peers, or whoever, people will respect you at the end of the day, even if they disagree, even if you may disagree with yourself later, if you have certain boundaries and you stick to them, people will respect that at the end of the day. So when you change them later and you explain that, to your family, they typically will understand. So like, you know what, I can respect that. You stuck to what you believed was true, and then you come to feel like it's no longer true anymore. Now you are sticking to this new concept, these new boundaries, right? Even the most friction situations and relationships, they end up respecting you because people can respect someone who sticks to their principles and to their boundaries and to their core beliefs. Respect. You can't really force someone to love you. No matter how much love you give out into the world, you can't force someone to love you if they don't have love in their heart. It's just, you can't really, you can help to influence the love to come out. You can, by showing love, you can definitely increase the likelihood that they, could love you, but it doesn't guarantee it at all. So that's why it's more important to command and demand respect from all individuals. Love can always be gained possibly later, right? But respect is so hard to obtain, and if someone doesn't respect you, it's almost impossible for them to love you. If they respect you, it's always then the door for love is always there, because respect and love, they coincide. If someone loves you, they respect you. If someone respects you, then they love you, right? And some people just have natural love in their heart, and then they will just naturally respect you just because of that love in their heart. But because a lot of us do struggle when it comes to that natural love in our heart, then understand that it's better to try to establish respect in people. Like I've told my son, because that's something that's really big for him. He wants to be respected or feel respected more. And I tell him all the time. Like I sent him some pictures of this from this numerology book written by King Simon. And it's like it's a numerology book. It's supposed to be like a children's kind of numerology book, but it's for health. So like based on your birthday and the numbers, it'll tell you what type of health challenges and issues you are more prone to, right? Which is good for adults and for children, right? It doesn't really matter. So I sent him. I've had the book for quite many of years, but this is the first time I actually sent him the picture of the book. So I sent him a picture of the parts that pertain to him, right? And then when I was talking to him about him, like the next day or or maybe 2 days after that, I asked him like, I sent him that. It's like, do you understand why I sent it to you and blah blah blah? And he was like, yeah, my birthday. He saw it. I was like, okay. So what did it say? I asked him, what did it say? What did it say about you? What is it, And he couldn't really remember what was in it. And to most people, like, well, it's not a big deal. You just got it, right? But to me, it's a big deal, not because he doesn't remember it just in and of itself, but it's a big deal because when you respect somebody or you respect something, then you're going to put your energy into understanding that person or that thing. And there's been other situations where I've also pointed this out to him. I say, you don't know. You don't remember. You didn't take the time to really study what I sent you, which has to do with you, which has to do with your strengths and your weaknesses. If you're not going to take the time to understand self, then you lack a respect for self. And if you lack a respect for self, it'll be hard for you to command and demand that's a high level of respect from other individuals. If you don't respect you, you're not likely, even though it's still possible, but you're not likely to get respect from other people. People tend to not respect those who don't respect themselves. Ashe. Notable Truth says, right, you can plant the seeds of love, but it's up to them to water them. It is up to them to water them. It is. Ashe, Ashe to J. Esco, Ashe. Any other questions, comments, or concerns? Right now it's 10:10, a great reflection number. Love equals respect equals standards. Ashe. Ashe to that. 22:10. Ashe. Ashe. I find that is definitely the lack of love in today's world. To me, stems mostly, not all from, but mostly from the lack of respect. And the lack of respect is, for the most part, the lack of respect for self. The lack of respect for self, right? And the lack of respect for self is a lack of knowledge and understanding of self. And that understanding is a very important part, the understanding of self. Because there is a lot to understand when it comes to self. Self is a very dynamic subject. Graffiti says boundaries and deeply rooted in them is the overall lesson in tonight's show. Ashe, yes, boundaries. People tend to, I've had a lot of frictional communications due to me sticking to and following my boundaries. Right? People talk about boundaries. It's a different thing to actually be dedicated to them. Because to be dedicated to your boundaries is to be dedicated to respecting yourself. It's like the man, I think it was like the British guys who'd be wearing those like tall black furry hats, and they're supposed to like not move when they're guarding the gate or whatever. You know, that's how you're supposed to be when it comes to, your own boundaries, where you don't. Now the thing is, we get it confused, and we get it where the issue becomes with boundaries is that. And really, I don't like the word boundaries, to tell you the truth, but I go with it because that's what people know. That's what they're used to hearing. I've done a lesson on boundaries, right? To me, boundaries are stupid, right? What you want to do, what I do is I put up walls. I put up walls. But that's the thing that colloquially, right, or you could say even commercially, or most most popular practice or idea is to not have walls, is to not put up walls. We gotta tear down the walls. We gotta, open up. Right? But how can you stay protected? How can you protect what's inside of you if you have no walls? Right? A boundary, where do we see boundaries? So we got to really think about these words. We see boundaries on a basketball court. We see boundaries on a football field, right? We see boundaries on a tic-tac-toe board. We see boundaries on a street. The yellow lines, the white and yellow lines, those are boundaries. That means that a boundary is like a guideline. It's and that guideline only matters if those who are participating or who are, you know, around it agree to follow the guidelines. So we get into these relationships, we have these family, you know, relationships, we have these friendships, we have these romantic relationships, and we have these boundaries. Well, the boundaries only matter if the other person agrees to follow your boundaries. But if I don't want to follow, if I don't want to, if I just, you know, if we say that, okay, this is out of bounds. You know, there's a basketball court that's not too far from here, and me and my son, we go play basketball there. There's the painted out of bounds line, but then right outside of that, there's a little extra bit of court, and then outside of that, there's the grass and like the sidewalk area, right? Or like, yeah. That, when we play basketball outside on the street, the painted lines are not the out of bounds for us. Sometimes certain groups we might call that out of bounds, but usually most games the grass is out of bounds, which tells you that those boundaries, those painted lines, mean nothing. They only mean something if we decide that they mean something. I can say the painted line's out of bounds, but if the rest of the group says, nah, the grass out of bounds, then it's going to be the grass. My only other option is to leave, right? You know, but when you put up walls, though, someone can't. You got walls. You have a house. If your house is just some painted lines, people can just walk in and out of your house whenever they want to. They can agree to say, well, you know, this is my painted lines, your painted lines. We're not going to walk into each other's painted lines, right? But if someone decides that I don't care, then they'll walk in. But when you have a wall, people can't just walk into your house. They got to knock on the door. You have to let them in. So when you have walls, meaning that there are no negotiations, this is how I do things. And as soon as you do a certain thing or you go say, boom, you're going to run into a wall and you're not getting in, you're not getting through. When you have walls, you stop bullshit from coming in. Now, just like anything, you're stopping the good stuff from coming. If you're stopping the bad, harmful things from coming in, well, you're stopping some of the good things too. The sunlight can't come in like it would used to. The fresh air can't just come in because you got these walls up, right? So there are some good things that you're missing out on. This is true. When you put up walls, you do miss out on some good things. But you can work around that. You can open the windows. You can open the blinds. You can do a couple things to work around that, right? But when you just let go of the walls, you just tear down the walls, and all you have is a bunch of imaginary lines painted on the ground, you leave yourself open to being taken advantage of. Asha. Ashe Graffiti. Follow Gypsy Calhoun. Ashe. Inevitable Truth. Yeah, it's like a limit as a means to keep integrity with yourself and everyone involved. Ashe. Ashe. It is a limit to protect yourself. To protect yourself. To protect yourself, to protect your integrity, yes. To protect, your peace, to protect your mind, your emotions, to protect your energy, all of these things, right? And if you miss out on a few things, you miss out on the party, you miss out on some sunshine, you miss out on some fresh air, you miss out on a couple opportunities. Yeah, there's going to be some things that you missed out on, right? But there's going to be, a lot more nonsense that you're also going to miss out on that would have reached you if you didn't have those walls. Ashe. I think I've gotten to everyone for tonight. So we'll go ahead and say Ashe, Asante and Amen. Ime Kamalika, it is done. And we will see you tomorrow.